All right. Hey, everybody. Welcome to the March recap. You will notice that it is April 5th, and I'm just getting this recap out. It has taken longer than expected over these past months to get all of the data from our new system. It still is not a clean export for me. And so, one of the things that I'm going to be changing moving forward is that all commissions are going to be paid out on the 5th of every single month, and this report will come out on the 5th. That gives me plenty of time to put it all together. I don't have to feel shameful or guilty for not getting it out right on the 1st, which I never do. So, apologies for setting the 1st. It was an unrealistic deadline. The 5th is way better. It allows for us to make sure that there's no returns. It allows us to calculate the commissions, to get the airdrop done, and for me to compile the report so that all of the right information is in there. So, that out of the way, moving forward on the 5th of each month, I will update this in the white paper. That's when the commissions are going to get paid out. So, thank you for your attention to this matter. We are now at 7,591 keys that have minted over the 7,500 mark. We had 167 keys minted in March, it should say. I'm not going to cut this part out, but this should say March. I'll update it before I post the slides to Discord. Moving on, I changed a couple of these slides, so let me know if you like this better. Basically, I'm showing January and February's revenue. March's revenue was at 16,333. All of that was wholesale and e-commerce. We did do some agency work, but we invoice on a net 30, and those invoices haven't been paid yet, so I didn't include the revenue here. That was up 1.84% over last month, and that means that we're going to do a 10% buyback. It's $1,633 that we will be randomly buying TRESR over the next 30 days, and we put that much into the bonus pool contract. So that was at the time 610,000 TRESR that were added to the bonus pool. That will continue to be updated on the 1st of every single month, and you will note it. One thing that you'll notice right now is if we run out of rewards at the end of the month, I accidentally put 30 days instead of 31 days, so there was a 24-hour period where there were no rewards in the bonus pool. That's why there was a 0% share of rewards, because there were no rewards there. If there's rewards there, you're going to see what percentage of those rewards that you're getting, and that should be updated for everyone now. The average monthly total is 14,209, and the year-to-date total is 42,629. So this is actually a pretty good number for us, given there was no agency added into this. You know, you'll notice that if I'm focused on agency sales, we get a lot of agency sales. If I'm focused on wholesale and e-commerce, we get a lot of wholesale and e-commerce. I'll talk about how we're going to be expanding our team so that we can have both of those things at once and have the benefit of revenue coming from both of those things. That's the direction that we're going. And some of that is just around us productizing our agency services. But right now, we're doing a lot of custom stuff, and we're really going to be productizing towards running remarketing campaigns for projects around what their project is and around the merchandise that they're creating with us. And we'll talk a little bit about that in another slide. So we already talked about how many keys were minted. That's a 0.9% increase in keys minted. We had a 0.3% increase in key holders. I started to add the percentage change because I think that's a more interesting number. So we added a couple new key holders. Cumulative key level is up 5.4%. The highest key level is level 150, of course, and total VE TRESR, interestingly, was up almost 31%. So a lot of people staking TRESR. Circulating TRESR up 0.3%, burned TRESR up 7.88%, and some of that is that the Pearl key can only be upgraded by burning TRESR. So good to see the TRESR burns up. We've burned 12.63% of the total supply. The DeFi loop is working. And total treasure staked is up 5.5%, which is what you would expect. Well, I was going to say that's what you would expect with the VE treasure raise, but I'm not sure that's entirely correlated. So somebody can do the math and tell me what I'm getting wrong here. But a 5.5% increase in staked treasure means that people are taking their rewards and popping it into the staking contract. So that's good to see. I went ahead and put in the treasure terminal charts here, but we've kind of already gone over everything. This is a new chart that Gribbly added to the treasure terminal that showcases cumulative key level. So this is all of the keys and the levels that they're upgrading. So you can see that levels kind of had a boost here when we were deciding to eliminate smarter, and yeah, continue to rise. People are continuing to up level those keys. So that's good to see. Current total supply is 409 million. That's down 1% from last month because of token burns, and our circulating supply has stayed around 57 million. So it's about even, which means that our token sinks, meaning the staking contracts and our burns, are offsetting any supply that we're bringing into circulating via the game. So that's interesting that we're at this even point here. And what we're seeing as the bonus rewards are now solely fueled by buybacks is that we're approaching the final 6 months or so of the treasure game, and then we're going to hit the supply cap, and so a lot of people are starting to examine their game theory and figure out how do they want to position themselves for when we hit that supply cap. VE treasure holders, you can see remain about the same. A little bit of a battle happening for sure in these top 4 wallets, and then a lot of people flirting with this range. Staked treasure remains about the same, and this is our Treasure AVAX LP, one wallet really maximizing on the Treasure AVAX LP rewards. Our top creators by sale, the top 10 were Time Traveler, which is one of my accounts, Artorias, Cockinu, Grenville Riley, I Am Unstoppable, Mike Isaac, Swole Beach, Diamond Hands Merch, Kuroshi, and Entheox. Good job for getting designs up that people are buying, or buying your own designs. One of the things that I'm going to be talking about in a further slide is how we can improve the quality of the designs in the store so that they convert better when new people come to the site. And boy, has artificial intelligence gotten infinitely better since the last time I did a recap. Just in 1 month, it's infinitely better. All the USD commissions have been airdropped to your dynamic wallet. It's the same as we did last month. If you need that claim guide, you can click here for the YouTube tutorial on how to do it. And this is the link that you click in order to find that wallet in your ecom creator account. But all of the USDC has been airdropped to anybody who sold something. And let's see. As far as product updates go, we're still running the AVAX card promo. So that's going to basically go until we run out of these cards. I think there's like 700 or so left. So basically, anytime you order something from Treasure, and we're going to be changing out all of our NF Treasure branded postcards this month. But once you order an item, let's say you order 3 t-shirts, you're going to get a AVAX trading card for each of those items in the order. And we can officially launch or announce now that we're going to be doing a series 2 of these cards for the Avalanche Summit coming up in London, and I'll have a link to that if you want to attend further on the presentation. We've gotten a lot of positive feedback on the new soft vinyl NFC tags that replace the older Pokey ones. I'm in the process of buying some of my same designs so that I can have those designs on with the nicer tags attached. And as we'll see in my update here in a second, we're actively building out things that will make scanning the NFC chip more valuable. So more on that in a second. And the aim is to replace all of our poly mailers, which is the branded shipping bag that we send stuff out in, our postcards, and our neck labels with the TRESR branding by the end of April. A few partnership highlights. We partnered with the Gag Me Gamer Guild, some really cool girl gamers that did an event in San Francisco. We did their all of their event shirts, and we designed some custom pajamas for the after party that they had. Coven and Pangolin did a Super Farm merch collab. Let's see if I can pull it up. And these were designed by Jordan. Really cool shirts. So check those out. I just got mine in the mail, and it's a great shirt. I love it. I lost my place, though. What else do we got here? Teens on Acid has a new project, NFT project called Kid9, and we announced a partnership with them. We're going to be doing some kick-ass trading cards with them, so I'm super stoked about that. More on that to come. And then coming soon, we'll be announcing a partnership with a project called Tap Tavern. It's a physical card integration project, and more details on that, but there's going to be a lot of interesting things. This is going to be one of the first projects that's building on kind of the TRESR Rails system that we've put out. And then another Space Odyssey is an NFT project on Avalanche that's doing this really cool comic. I'm going to be doing a full project overview video with them, but we're doing a full merch and trading card package with them. This is alpha. Their community, I think, has been teased some of the designs, but they hired us and Jordan to do these designs, and I'm really stoked about being able to announce that soon. So you can click here and check that out. Trading cards and full line of merch coming, plus some gamification around their NFTs. All right, let's talk about team and some of the strategies. So this month we hired a new front-end developer. His name is Santiago. He has a focus on improving conversion on the front end, which is what we need. Now that we have kind of the underlying infrastructure, it's time to optimize towards sales and marketing. He and I both are going to be focused on SEO and improving our conversion rate, which is currently less than 1%. It's actually crazy that we're doing the numbers that we're doing with a less than 1% conversion rate. The standard that I like to get to for the shops that I've managed in the past is 9%, and so that's our focus. And this would be a 10x in our conversion rate, and so you can do the math on what that could do to our sales. But I think we'll be able to get there, and Santiago is a really cool guy that I'm glad to have on the team and have his insights. We've been running some Hotjar insights. Hotjar is a heat mapping tool that allows us to anonymously see how people are using the website and the product creator tool. And one of the things that we've noticed is that most users upload pre-made designs. Any of the really good designs, somebody designed it outside of our system. And really, the designs that aren't converting are designs that people used our tool in, just because they look more amateur. And I'm going to show you in a couple of minutes how insane the new update to ChatGPT 4.0 is. But because of this, because of how good AI is getting every single month, we have a plan to actually scale down some of the native design tools in the creator tool, and we're going to shift to making the design the source of truth across products. So the design tool is going to be less about creating your base level design and more about uploading a design and being able to easily transfer that to a bunch of different merchandise options. I'll show you a screenshot here in a second. I'll also show you in a second our strategic roadmap that we put together. Andrew, our interim COO, and I have been working on what this kind of multi-chain expansion and this experience API that we're building out would look like. This would allow for creators to choose which blockchain they want their digital twin to be minted on, and it gives us a much wider pool of projects that we can reach out to. Mikkel and Andrew are also working on building out a deeper level of documentation for all of the dev stuff that we've got going on, because the goal is to have this experience API where basically third-party developer teams can build into our NFC system until we have kind of a plug-and-play app store for creators that want to build on top of our NFC. So that's kind of where we're heading, and I'll show you the strategic roadmap here in a second. We're doing some good wholesale numbers. I would say that 80% of our revenue came from wholesale this month. All of that is me on calls with projects and events. We are talking to somebody who's going to be helping out with the operational side of the business, and one of the things that he will potentially be doing is taking over that kind of cold salesperson position that I have, so that I only have to get involved once we know for sure that somebody's ready to do a deal. And the cool thing is that Andrew, our interim CEO, and I have been slowly working on and rolling out kind of a sweat equity model for onboarding more team members. And this is inspired by the book Slicing Pie. So if you're curious on how we're thinking about issuing equity, not really equity, well, it's kind of like equity and also tokens and keys, etc. So it's our own version of this, but it's an interesting book for anybody to read if you're thinking about how to attract new talent without having to have a massive cash investment up front. So it'll be a combination of sweat equity and cash, which allows us to have more runway with our current budget. The key supply goal continues to remain our biggest focus. That's going to be the most efficient way for us to build out multi-year runway. Of course, we're going to continue to grow agency and e-commerce sales, and that can cover our expenses and beyond at some point. But really, the highest margin product that we have is the treasure keys, because it's 100% margin on a digital product. So figuring out how to get more attention from other chains onto those keys is something that we're very focused on. And if you go into the Treasure Strategy chat channel, you'll see some of the conversation that we're having with the community about that. But the goal is to extend the runway as much as we can, to be able to expand the team so that we can move faster, and ultimately to have a more gamified system of the NFC, which is where bonus points and what we've been calling Project Y and all of these things come into play. Okay, so let me jump into my computer and I'm going to show you the strategic plan that Andrew and I are putting together. 1 second. Okay, so this is the strategic plan that Mikkel, Andrew, and I have been putting together. And the goal is to work through all of these things to strengthen the ecosystem. So there's a couple of things that are happening here. We had the migrate to treasure.com, which has already happened. Treasure.com is now the official domain. And now Santiago and I are looking at refining the marketing and SEO so that we can have a really tight, we're calling this V1. I know we had another V1, but this is V1 of our own internal tool. So that we can have a really tight 9% conversion rate on the V1 shop platform. And then that will play into us using the Hotjar heat maps, etc., to update that system to be even deeper, more deeply integrated with all of these things that we're doing. One of the things that Andrew is focused on and building a team around, and currently working with Mikkel on, is replacing our current experience proxy. This is the thing that when you scan your NFC tag on your sleeve, it's basically a router that says, okay, now we know that this is authenticated as this product. What experience do we point to? Right now, that's pointing to proof of attendance or digital twin on Avalanche, and those are really the only experiences available. We want to have assignable experiences where you as the creator can choose which blockchain you want to mint on. And if you've been a part of the Treasure Tactics chat, you know that Cardano is one of the ones that we're looking at because they have a huge, very passionate NFT community. And I met Charles Hoskinson in Argentina, and I've been in close contact with his team ever since. So there's a potential for us to get dev and financial support there. Not a certain thing, but we are pursuing that along with a bunch of other blockchains. The goal would be, even if we go to Cardano, to have other chains like ApeChain, Solana, as options for minting your digital twin, so that we can go to those projects on those networks, so that we can go to those foundations and do for their events what we've been doing for the Avalanche events. Geolassoing will be one of those event experiences, and ultimately this all plays into the community engagement platform, which is kind of the point system that we're slowly making our way towards. So the other things that will kind of play into this experience proxy are brand points, the ability to upload user-generated content, a brand ambassador program, gated purchases where you can basically gate by an NFT project, a token, or somebody who's already bought one of your other products, and then the airdrop and coupons and claim. All of this is in the works, and man, has just really taken a lot longer than I expected. And so it's one of the reasons that I've just doubled down on wholesale right now, to give Mikkel, Andrew, Santiago, and the team that Andrew is developing on the developer side, just give them the space to get this finished out while we continue to grow revenue on the agency and on the wholesale side. Anyhow, is this 60 days? Is this 90 days? I'm tired of giving timelines that we don't make. I don't have an exact number. Just know that we are going to get to this place, and it will be epic when we do. And in the interim, I'm focused on growing agency and wholesale revenue so that revenue continues to grow. What else do we have here? Yeah, and then the other things that we're just thinking about are some kind of royalty distribution system that's basically a cleaner system for distributing commissions and affiliate sales, the ability to scan your sleeve, and if a friend says, "Oh, I love that shirt," they can scan your sleeve and you both get a commission for doing that, or a discount and a commission. Better product line management, which I'll talk a little bit more about in the next slide. But basically, the ability to better map your image onto multiple products. In the new Shop AI Shop tool, one of the things in V2 that we definitely want to add is using AI so that you can map your design onto a model and showcase lifestyle images of what that looks like. And then finally, that developer API and sandbox that I talked about. So multi-chain keys, I think, is probably the first thing that we do multi-chain before we think about bringing the DeFi game multi-chain. And, this could just be wrapping keys, letting people get access to commissions. And then if they want to partake in the DeFi game, they have to bridge that back to Avalanche. We are exploring layer 0. We're exploring a couple of the side chains for some of these products. We have pretty much decided we're not going to use an L1 anymore because there's some better solutions that have more tooling available. But yeah, Treasure Tactics is the channel in Discord where we're talking about all of this if you are interested. Getting back to our presentation here, we are going to be launching a new X community feature. So Entheox, our community manager, who you all know in Discord, let us know that Twitter, now X, has a basically new community function, and it will basically replace or augment the promoters tag that we've been using for when we want people to promote something so that we can get eyes on it. We're still exploring all the functionality here, but I'm going to try to get that set up this weekend. And the goal is to get better exposure on our treasure posts, people posting treasure merchandise, and then using this as a way to kind of have a squad of people, that help us promote into some of these other blockchains as we add that functionality. So we need your support. If you don't have a Twitter or X account, it's time to get one. X is also the best place for you to get merch ideas on things that will actually sell. And so it's worth having one. It doesn't matter if you have any followers or not. A lot of it is just about us showing traction in the comments, bookmarking things, liking things, and you having an account so that you can see what other people in crypto are talking about and then design merchandise around that. I already talked about the AVAX cards coming with every single order now. If you want to meet me in London for the AVAX Summit, this is the details. Get your tickets. It's May 20th through the 22nd. I will be there, and we are launching Series 2 of the AVAX cards, so you will get cards with your badge. And then finally, the Treasury has no more Smarter. We OTC'd the last of it last couple days ago. We have plenty of treasure, around $50,000 worth of treasure, but we are not currently OTCing it. So both OTCs are closed. You got to go to the open liquidity pool in order to get those. And so do with that information what you will as you're updating your game theory. Now, I talked about changing some of the product pages and the e-commerce store towards designs being the source of truth. What I mean by that is right now, if you have a design and you want to do a t-shirt and a hat and a hoodie, each of those exists as its own product. It's a very clunky experience. It clutters the store with a bunch of products. And if you find a design and you say, oh, I wish there was a t-shirt, we're not doing a good job of recommending that. What we want to move towards is one design, one product page, and you can decide, is it a male fit or a female fit? You can select, is it a hoodie? Is it a t-shirt? Is it all of the different products that are available for either male or female? And then it'll automatically change the product image so that you can see what you have selected. This is going to be a much more efficient way for us to promote designs, and we think that it will improve the conversion rate. I don't have a timeline on when this will be happening, but we will figure out a way to help people migrate existing designs and do this moving forward. And really, the idea behind simplifying the creator tool is to be able to focus on multi-product creation. Once we do this, we want you to be able to upload your design and then be able to resize it and rearrange it per product. We want you to be able to have dark and light mode so that you can have the white text on black if it's a black hoodie, but the black text on white if it's a light colored hoodie. So we're going to prioritize multi-product creation and the design being the focus. And I think that is going to help a lot. And the reason that we're doing that is because there are so many third-party tools that are getting so incredible. Kittl is one, Canva is one, but really ChatGPT 4.0 is the far and away the winner right now. This is not a real human. AI created it. It took one of our designs and threw it on the shirt. You can see it doesn't really like to do our label properly here, but it did a pretty good job. And this is one of the things that we want to add to the new creator tool, is the ability for you to basically add your design onto models, lifestyle images, and then we want to start training people to just use something like ChatGPT 4.0 to create their designs. And so I'll be creating some educational videos, and we'll go into some education right now on how to use this tool and what's possible. And then this is going to make these upcoming SEO and ad focus contests that we're running, where we're basically putting together this leaderboard of the top keywords that we're getting traffic for. It will allow us to elevate the designs that we have across the store. Let's see. Yeah, so let's talk about ChatGPT 4.0 for merch creation. The rest of this is going to be a kind of a tutorial on how to use this, but these tools are so insane. Everyone that is seriously wants to make money in the store, if you're uploading designs, you've got to get a ChatGPT account. It's $20 a month. It is a game changer. And then these are two other tools that I'm going to cover. But let me just, I don't want to shame anyone. I appreciate everybody that is putting up their designs. I also am not commenting politically on this. We're a decentralized platform. You can upload whatever you want. So this is not an endorsement of this message. I just want to showcase how we can improve a design. So someone uploaded this design now, and one of the things that doesn't really sell well is when it's just a block image. We want there to be a background, a transparent background that has fabric coming through, and then a photograph like this in the background doesn't really translate well to our print process. We really want it to be more vector based. And so one of the excellent things that we can do is we can right click on this, we can save this image, and now we can go over to ChatGPT 4.0, make sure that we're in ChatGPT 4.0 mode, and then basically what I've done here is I uploaded the photo and I put in the prompt, I want to improve a t-shirt design. I want to improve a t-shirt design I have to be more professional. I've attached the design. Please clean up the design so that it will sell better and output the design as a transparent PSD. So the first thing that it does is it outputs that design. Well, it's transparent so you can hardly see it, but let me see if I can open it in a new window. 1 second. If we open this up, well, it's not really letting me do that right now. So you'll just have to squint in here. But you can see it did kind of make it better. It gave it a transparent background. It vectorized this image a little bit, but it's still not great. So then when I said do it in, I added a prompt. I said do it in the styles of an 80s rock band t-shirt. And then it created this. Now this is a t-shirt that will sell for somebody who's interested in this type of content. And so now I can download this and just upload it into the store. Let's try it right now and see what that would look like. So now I go to TRESR.com, start creating, launch creator tool, pick the shirt that I want, add image, and I'm going to add it in here. And of course, ChatGPT didn't give me a good version of that image. So how are we going to fix that? Let me try it again. Pop it in here. And now I can bring it so that it's full width, align it up here. And this is an infinitely more marketable shirt than wherever it went. Than this one. No offense, we're all learning how to do this together. What I want everyone to do is go through this process and take whatever designs you've uploaded. Some of the designs on the site are great. And so if you love your design, do it. But I know some of you are just getting a feel for how to become a shirt designer. And we can all agree that this death metal version of that logo that took me less than a minute to make is a much better option for that shirt. So the other cool thing that you can do is here I've taken a picture of an old Green Day shirt. And what I did is I uploaded it and I said, I want to make a t-shirt design in this style that reads crypto degenerate. The imagery should be something related to crypto, but the general style should be similar to the attached t-shirt design. So then it creates this crypto degenerate t-shirt here that is basically perfect, but I decided, well, let me see if maybe this guy looks a little too scary. I don't know. It actually looks kind of cool, but would I actually wear it? I'm a little bit more preppy. So I said, make the guy in the image a bit friendlier, like he's the master of crypto, not a slave to it. So this was a little too on the nose. It doesn't really match the style. So I said, never mind, he should be more punk rock. So then it created this. I said, make him less scary, more cool, like a punk rocker everyone wants to hang out with. He should be levitating Bitcoin in his hand. Then it had this guy who just kind of looks like a tool. So I decided, you know what? I think I like this original one better. So what I do is I download this And you can see it didn't put this on a transparent background because I didn't ask it to. So what I can do is I can go to this color remover tool, and I bring this image in here. I click on the background color that I want to remove, and I change this distance to 25 and click remove. Now it's perfectly removed the background. I can download this to my computer. I can go to the creator tool. Pick which one I want. And you can see how valuable it's going to be when this one image can immediately get mapped onto all the products. And then I need to change the color here because it's only going to work on these light colors. So then I remove black. I pop in here and pull the width out a little bit. Do this. And now I can see what it's going to look like on all these. And I mean, I'm not going to lie, it's a pretty badass shirt. So this is a very marketable shirt. And so what I want you to start thinking about is using reference images in ChatGPT 4.0 in order to create your designs. If you already have designs in the store, I want you to try this process, improve them if you want to improve them, and delete the old ones and upload the new ones so that we can see and have better conversion on our ads and traffic. One of the things that I've been doing is I've been going to thrift stores and just taking photos of different shirts that I think are interesting. So these are all just old vintage shirts. But what I can do is I can upload these designs into ChatGPT. So I can take a screenshot of this. I upload it into this, but then I can go to coolers.co, and that link is right here. So I go to coolers.co, I take a screenshot, if it'll let me. I take a screenshot of the color palette that I want to use, and then I go over here and I upload, this is the photo that, it's not going to show it to you. Let me see if I refresh if it will. So this is the photo that I took at the thrift store. This is the screenshot that I just took of these, and I said, I want to create a t-shirt design in this style, but instead of red and black, use the attached color palette. The design should contrast well on a black background. It should read degen and have an image of something abstract that represents crypto degeneracy. So then it creates this shirt, which is interesting, and I can now have a conversation about refining it. So I said, instead of Bitcoin, I want the abstract image to represent gambling on shitcoins. So it put shitcoin with these dice here. And now I can click on this. I can download it. I can, remember, I go to the imageonline.tools color remover, and I'll just refresh this. I will drag this image in here. I will remove the black. So that removes all of the black here. Perfect. I download this. And now I'm going to go back into the creator tool, and I'll just stay here. I'll delete this image. I'll put black back on, add a new image. Okay, so you can see that whatever it imports it in at is the resolution that it would be best at. Now, if you expand it like this, it's not going to be a terrible thing. But one of the things that you might want to do is go to something like imageupscaler.com. And what we can do is we can drag this in here, and then we can say, okay, let's upscale it 4x. Let's set this to PNG, and then we start processing. It doesn't need to be this big, but it never hurts. Probably we want to keep it under 25 megs if we can, so maybe 2x would have been fine. $4X is taking a little bit longer. So 2x is probably fine. But now we can download this image. Save this to our hard drive. Go back over here. We delete this lower res one. and we add in the higher res one. And that one's a really big file, and so we'll see if it even lets us do that. Okay. I lied when I said that it puts it in at the resolution that is most optimal. But this is a higher res version, so it's always better to have something that's probably at least 1500 pixels wide. So then we can see, oh, that kind of looks interesting. And now I've got my design. All right, so you're starting to get a hang of this. This is where we're picking our color formats. What else can we do? Okay, so here's the Cockinu logo. So I download this logo to my computer, and I say I want to create a 90s band t-shirt design that incorporates the attached logo. The text should read King of the Coop. So, does actually a pretty damn good design, but it left out the "the." So I said, you left out the "the" in King of the Coop. It comes back with this crazy, incredible design. Now I can download this. I can go to Image Upscaler. I can put it on 2x. I need to re-download this. Sometimes if you download it and the ChatGPT image doesn't load for you, it's because you need to refresh this page, and then you click into this and then download from there. All right, so now I'll go ahead and upscale that. Yeah, beyond 2000 by 2000 it is probably a good upscale rate, so 2x will usually work. And then I usually upscale it before I remove the background. So now I'm going to download this image. I'm going to go back to my image remover tool. Just refresh this. I'm going to pop this in here. I select the black that I want to remove. I'm going to change this distance to 25. Remove it. And there I've got a perfect outline. So now I'm going to download this. I go and I'll upload all these designs later, but I do add image. I pop this in here. And I kind of like it being a little bit smaller image. And now I've got this kick-ass Cockinu shirt, King of the Coop. So you can see how even if you have zero design skills, you can massively improve the quality of designs that you're putting up. This is a huge opportunity for us to really create interesting merchandise around whatever subject that you want. And I want to encourage everybody to get a ChatGPT 4.0 membership and start doing this. Let's improve the quality of designs so that we can improve our sales, which ultimately improves how much of a buyback we can do. What else? I think that's about it. So let me know in the general chat what you think about this. What are you going to design? Are you going to redesign some of your old designs? Are you going to start designing new stuff? I put in the prompt that where I took my the old design and just uploaded it and said that I wanted to improve it. This is such an insane tool. We live in a crazy moment in time where you can, in less than a minute, create something that has mailbox money potential. I will be making a deeper course on how to do some of this, but hopefully this is enough to get you going. And that's the March report. April's going to be a big month for us. I can feel it in my bones. Thank you for being here. Thank you for your attention. We'll see you in the next one. Bye, y'all.